Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Eid Mubarak first of all to all you lovely people out there. This is a very special edition of Sports Extra coming to you on Eid Day, and it's once again that time of year where we celebrate with our loved ones, our family, our extended families, our work families as well. And like I said, it's that special time of year. So the very first thing that we do is wish all of you a very, very happy Eid Mubarak, because all of you are a very special part of Sports Extra, the most essential part of PTV World, Pakistan Television in general, and exclusively Sports Extra, like I said. So Eid Mubarak to you. I hope you've been enjoying your day, although I think we still can do a lot. We still have 2 more days planned for Eid as well. But I'm going to be, once again, like every year, what we do is introduce you to some very special people, ask them about their Eid, and definitely ask them how traditions have changed over the years as well. We've had a fantastic Ramadan, let's be honest, thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The weather was absolutely terrific in Islamabad, and I think we've really had a very subtle month of Ramadan as well. So I'm sure that you've been able to fast as well. You've been doing your prayers and your obligations towards the religion, and I'm sure that everything is fine. But for the very first time in the year, we get to discuss some casual stuff apart from sports as well, but we do involve sports because we are Sports Extra. So we'll be talking all about this. So first of all, I'm going to introduce you to the fantastic people we have here. They're already celebrities themselves, aren't they? And they're going to be enjoying this Eid with Sports Extra, with me and with you as well. So let's just introduce them. First of all, we've been joined by somebody who happens to be a volleyball player. Of course, she's got a tremendous future ahead of her, and I'm sure that she's going to be winning many, many things for Pakistan when it comes to the sport of volleyball. So she's a volleyball player. Very honored to be joined by Sania. Assalamu alaikum. Eid Mubarak.
Wa alaikum assalam. Eid Mubarak.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you? How was your Eid?
Eid was wonderful. Eid is wonderful right now, but we still have 2 more days. So I'm sure that all of us are going to have a lot of fun. And of course, we move on. We've also been joined by somebody who happens to be a regular part of our programs of Sports Extra. And when it comes to the real nitty-gritty of things in sports, not just cricket, you can talk about football. He's a professional golfer almost. He's getting there with his pure dedication of playing golf as well. And of course, when you talk about, like I said, sports, it's something that he enjoys. And it's always, I think, a great part to have him on the show as well. Very honored to be joined by Mr. Rizwan Haider. Assalamu alaikum. Eid Mubarak, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, Ahmed, and Eid Mubarak.
How
to
are you, sir?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
How's it been so far?
It's been it's been very good, and I still have to go to my in-laws for dinner, so it's going to be even better.
Well, that's the essential second part or first day part for you?
That's every day these days, alhamdulillah.
So duties, line of duty comes first. But obviously, like I said, that, there's so much to talk about on Eid, but we decided to bring you a lot of insight into volleyball and its players and what they're doing on Eid as well. So joining us is another volleyball player who I'm sure is also dedicated to the sport, as many players are, and she's also got a great future ahead. And I'm sure that Pakistan's volleyball is in great hands right now. Joining us is Miss Huma Seher. Assalamu alaikum. Eid Mubarak.
Wa alaikum assalam. Eid Mubarak to you too.
How are you?
I'm great.
How's your Eid day been so far?
It was good. Thank you for having me.
Well, great to have you on the show as well. So, there's so many things that we need to discuss, but I always, it's become a bit of a cliche, but traditions have changed over the years, let's be honest. Now, people are far. Families, have gone to be extended families. Some people are in the country, some are not. People have been so busy and caught up in their routine work as well that it's very difficult to keep the same traditions that we used to enjoy when we were very young. But I'm sure that, some families still manage to do that. Their traditions have not changed, and the next generation tends to carry them on as well. So, Sania, first of all, growing up, when, talk about Eid, what's your memory like? How has Eid changed over the years as we've grown up to become professionals in our fields?
Yeah, for me, Eid is all about family get-togethers and having delicious food with families and creating a good memory that lasts forever. So for me, Eid is all about family. Like you have said, things have changed, like social media, technology has really changed the tradition. We used to collect EDs, but now this trend has changed, right? So we used to make Eid cards to our loved ones, like I myself. So things are changing.
Are you still making Eid cards? Or
No. I just send a text, Eid Mubarak, that's all.
So what's the special thing about Eid now, as you mentioned? Are you now on the giving end or the receiving end?
I'm on the giving end now. Yes.
So that's, that is something that as you grow up, you tend to, really feel that my time is now gone of being on the receiving end as well. But Rizwan, I'm sure even being on the giving end is tremendous because you get to share a lot of joy.
It's a wonderful feeling because after a month of fasting, you know, you have a few days where you feast basically. But things literally have changed. I think when we were young, getting a new dress was the main thing for Eid. Looking forward to Eid, as Sania said, was a major thing. Similarly, going out, you know, having ice cream was a big thing. You know, for our family tradition, whenever we used to go out for Eid in Lahore, the whole family would go out for dinner. And for the most important thing for us kids was the unlimited ice cream that we would have promised our parents that, you know, there's not going to be a limit to ice cream. But these days, I mean, you know, the families, the kids get clothes every month, every summer, every winter. So that sort of values have probably come down a bit. Similarly, going out for dinner is it's a normal thing these days. It used to be a luxury in our days. But still, I mean, you cannot underestimate the importance of Eid to the youngsters, because for them, you know, my daughter is 10 and she's fasted the whole month. So for her, the level of Eid is going to be very different compared to what, you know, I or Sania or Huma feel, or you yourself feel. But Eid is for children. And the important thing that we should remember is that in Eid, after Eid, you know, after a month of fasting, it gives us, it should give us humbleness, and Allah makes us remember that, you know, how other people are living very hard and they've got a harsh life, they're poor. So, you know, once you do that after Eid, that spirit should continue, that you should be humble all year round, not just for the month of Ramadan. When you know, give sadaqah and zakat, it should be all year round. So, but other than that, I think Eid has changed, but in a very good way for children, and they still look forward to it.
Well, certainly, I think, but you know, one thing that I could judge from there is, you know, to discuss Eid with someone who has enjoyed the true traditions of Lahore and culture as well. Islamabad's probably going to hate me for saying this, but they've had the most flavorful Eid that they can think of. But, you know, obviously there are traditions involved with each city and with each, you know, province that we come across as well. Or each land of Pakistan is so diverse with beautiful colors as well. Huma, when we talk about you, how have you seen Eid evolving over the years? Like Sania mentioned, you know, that it's changed. The concept of Eid is very, very sacred, so, you know, very touchy about that subject. But how do you see Eid over the years?
So yeah, when I was young, Eid for me was all about Eid, right? And when I was in Gilgit, I used to go to my grandparents and I used to celebrate with my family. And another important thing is the food and, you know, going to your neighbors and, you know, celebrating together. With time, everything has changed. Obviously, we are very busy in our daily lives, and we are, you know, very restricted with time. So we are, you know, trying to give time to our family, and we are trying to evolve, and we're trying to go with the time.
Right, so you categorically mentioned Gilgit in there as well. I've been to Gilgit, so I can, you know, say that at least. Now I can say it. A lot of people used to say that you need to first visit the place. I think it's a beautiful city. I absolutely adore the land of Gilgit, its people. You know, I have found hospitality in all parts of the world, especially Pakistan. But trust me, when you talk about Gilgit, they're on the next level. So we can, you know, accept that fact. But for Gilgit, like Sania was also mentioning about food particularly. So what's that go-to dish when you talk about Eid that has been special with your family at least?
It's the traditional food, I guess, the traditional food and the biryani and the pulao and all of that, and giving it to our neighbors and going to them was quite a very important thing for us.
Well, Sania, because we are talking about Gilgit now and food has finally come into the discussion. For us, you know, it's always a festival and we need to have food. You know, let's be honest. So Pakistanis are food lovers, alhamdulillah, we can say that. So any traditional something that, you know, is always special. I know making sweet in the morning is always a tradition on Eid, but anything special that you connect with when you see that dish so it reminds you of Eid every year?
Yeah, that's actually, we call it gral. So I really like that food whenever my parents or my mother makes it or cooks it. I really, I just feel that, oh, I'm in that part of Eid. Yeah, so I'm...
So what's it like? Tell us about the dish as well.
The dish, it's like just a pancake. We mix apricot oil and mulberry syrup over it, and we serve it.
Well, this
Yeah.
is something, Rizwan, that is a must-have now. When she mentioned apricot and maple and mulberry, and I think this is something that we need to make a tradition on Sports Extra now as well.
We're going to ask her to bring it over sometime. But the good thing about Pakistan is that every area has its own specialities. Uh, when she mentioned biryani and pulao, I was thinking of Karachi and Lahore rather than Gilgit. But there's mantu, I think, is another
Yeah,
Gilgiti
that's
dish that I
something,
like
yeah.
very much. Mantu Lagman is another one,
Yeah.
which has come from China, from Kashgar. Because I had a friend from there as well. But I think if you look into in go into detail, every place has something special. I mean, 20 years ago it was all mutton kadai, but these days it's shinbari. So that's how things have changed, because the tastes have evolved. Things have gotten better. The quality of food has improved all over Pakistan. It's just not about Karachi anymore or Lahore or Gujranwala, but all over the place you get very, very decent food.
Well, because I mentioned that particular fact of you having a lot of memories from Lahore, I think that gives you supremacy over all of us when it comes to food.
Well, not just Lahore, but since I've celebrated Eid in Karachi, I've celebrated in Sialkot, Murree, Multan, Bahawalpur. So, Alhamdulillah, yes.
Well, you did talk about ice cream, but I still need to ask you about your go-to dish on Eid. Both of them have already said it. But since you've mentioned a list of dishes now, there has to be one go-to dish on Eid.
I think for me, the morning sweet sevia is one of the main things. But otherwise, I'm a pulao person, not really a biryani person.
So that settles the debate, first of all.
So I mean, I love pulao on Eid.
So a good, decent pulao is something, that makes its way to Rizwan's heart. But I'm sure that he settled this debate at least, whether biryani or pulao. So that debate is finally settled for Rizwan at least as well.
At least for me, but nobody else.
But no, for nobody else. The debate is still wide open for all of you as well. Now, Homa, you belong to a very fancy sport, I must say. I have seen volleyball up close as well, and I do know that not much has been said about it, but in Pakistan it surely dominates in every nook and corner. We've seen volleyball being played. Now, because you become professional athletes, first of all, I need to ask you about your journey, where you decided that, look, I'm going to be a volleyball player.
So when I was in school, I was quite interested in volleyball, but I didn't have the time to manage all that. So I joined Misbah Volleyball Academy, which is an academy which is located in Islamabad. So initially I went there as a volleyball player. For 1 or 2 years I practiced there, and I practiced the technical skills and all of that. And after that I joined the team members, and now we organize different events all over Pakistan. Which was recently went to Jakababad in Misbah Volleyball Academy was collaborating with Star Women Sports Academy, and we had an event there, volleyball event. So yeah, I started back in school, and now I am alhamdulillah playing in different tournaments and even in national level. So I recently played as a libero at Quetta National Volleyball Championship, and it was quite very important for me there.
Women's Championship as well. So I'm sure that you not only enjoyed it, but you felt that, it's competitive sports is always important. No matter which sports you're playing, once you, move on to tournaments or play matches, I think on the competitive side, that brings out the best in the player as well. But Sania, what's your story of when you decided, I'm going to play volleyball now?
Yeah, basically when I started playing volleyball, I used to play football back then in my school, but because it was football was very popular then in my town. So when I moved to Islamabad, I joined Misbah Volleyball Academy. So from there I developed the interest in volleyball actually. Yeah. So I'm also the management team. I also led the team as a manager in Misbah Volleyball Academy. So we work on different projects and we organize different tournaments as well.
How important is it to organize tournaments? Because I understand players go through training, but tournament or a match in a particular region is where you can test the skill of players as well.
Yeah, that's true. I believe we always say there is no opportunity where girls can go and play. Like we have seen cricket is evolving, and there is so much craze in cricket, and there are different clubs, academies where people can go and practice. But in volleyball, specifically when we talk about volleyball, there is no certain academies. Like it is developing now, but there wasn't any. So for me, going in the tournaments and as our team goes in different tournaments, it is basically a platform where you can showcase your talent, and from where Pakistan Volleyball Federation can also pick the different athletes who are doing really great in that tournament. So that is the opportunity where girls go and showcase their talent.
Absolutely. I think tremendous work. But Rizwan, are you also part of the Misbah Volleyball Academy? I'm just gonna, on a lighter side. But have you played volleyball yourself? What do you think about
I've seen people play volleyball, and I love watching volleyball, but I haven't actually really played.
Well,
I played lots of sport. I played basketball, I played golf, I played hockey, football, even polo as well. But this is one of the few sports that I haven't.
You gave a lot of stress on golf, I figured out. So
I've been, if you remember on the Iftari, I
Yes.
played 9 holes in pretty decent weather, and then came for Iftari.
while
and-
fasting you played and then you came. I
while
remember.
fasting, of course, alhamdulillah, and it's been such wonderful weather that fasting hasn't been an issue. On Saturdays and Sundays, I'm actually, after Seri, I'm going for 9 holes, and on one of the days I played 18 holes. That was 4 hours of walk
So that's been your throughout Ramzan. That's been your
throughout
routine.
Ramzan, and finished at 11:30. Came back, did my zohar, and went to sleep, and had a very late.
So is the high command at home letting you play on
Yes,
Eid as
yes,
well? or not?
she lets me play because if I'm not there, then I'm not a nuisance. Otherwise, I can be very, very irritating.
Very picky about things as well. But I'm sure that when even he's not there, he's probably shadow practicing golf as well. We had this problem, I still remember, Azhar Mahmood, former Pakistan player, very big fan of golf himself as well. So, of course, his spouse, Ebba, complained that, he's when there were peak times for COVID as well, he was playing around the house as well. He was trying to putt a ball anywhere around. So that became very dangerous. But I understand, once you're in love with the sport, it becomes very... But Rizwan, both these girls mentioned something very important. They started their journey off as a player, and from there onwards, they've been, transforming themselves into managers or, leaders of change as well. How important is that in any sports, especially for the women folk of Pakistan?
I think it's a good thing and a bad thing as well for me, because this just shows that they haven't had mentors, they haven't had proper managers available to them when they came in, who were organizing events, tournaments, and stuff like that. And because of that, since they've had to march into this management thing, it is a good thing for the other girls. For the youngsters now coming in, they will have somebody to look forward to, that somebody knows how to manage, somebody knows how to manage events. If she can manage events in Jacobabad, then that is a pleasant thing. That means that sport is going into the suburbs as well, into the areas where it hasn't been really explored yet. So it's a good thing, yes, but again, I think it's a very bad thing that they haven't had the opportunity or the mentors available to them, that they had to go into management themselves at this young age. I mean, I don't mind you going into venturing into management at the age of 35 or 40 when you're
Post-retirement
when
from
you're
sports.
retiring, but at this age, if they're going into it, then that's not really a positive thing for me.
So Huma, when we talk about the training schedules as well, now you've got to combine management and playing side by side. So, throughout Ramadan, we've had a very, like I said, a very blessed month. The weather was fine as well. What's the normal training routine, and when it comes to Ramadan specifically, what's the training routine that changes then as well?
So basically we have training timings. Basically we train on weekends. So we have 3 to 5. But in Ramadan the schedule was different, as you know, because of Ramadan mostly people are not available to come to the training. So we are quite comfortable, and we are quite making sure that everybody is enjoying the Ramadan and the religious part of this month. So we were quite relaxed at this month, but yeah, we do it.
But once you started playing, what was the biggest challenge that you felt is something that is a bit tricky in volleyball?
The biggest challenge I faced was when I got admission in my university, because it was quite difficult for me to manage both my university assignments and volleyball. So at first it was quite difficult, but I believe that if you can manage your time and you can distribute your time honestly, so you can do anything in life. That is my point.
But
yeah.
that's good motivation as well. For us, it's always been about sports. Even in our academic facilities, we were more focused to sports, and assignments were happening last moment as well. But Sunny, what's been your biggest challenge that you felt here, during your career right now as a professional athlete, is something that's tricky to manage as well?
As Huma said, she has assignments to do. Likewise, I also have to do my assignment. That's a tricky thing to manage your time with your volleyball.
Sports
with
routine
sports,
as well.
yeah,
Yes.
sports specifically. The thing which was really challenging for me is for everybody who is playing volleyball is the infrastructure, because volleyball is all about indoor. It's an indoor game, but we don't have that facility, that we don't have that infrastructure, so we can go and play indoor game. So for me that was very challenging because my face was burning and we were having injuries outdoor. Yeah. So I would say I'm blessed to be part of Misbah Volleyball Academy, because somehow we managed to play in the ground, because when we see boys, they can play anywhere, in park, in everywhere they can go, but for girls it's very difficult to go and play in park. So yeah, that was challenging.
But you know,
Just
yes,
one thing.
yes,
Is it
please.
Misbah ul Haq Volleyball Academy?
No,
or-
Misbah Volleyball Academy.
Only
I'm just
Misbah.
going to come to that. You know, interesting thing for Huma and Sania is that I know Misbah personally as well. And Misbah has been on this very platform of Sports Extra on an Eid show once. So I still remember that time when, you know, we were talking about that, and the academy was in the stages of, you know, being perceived at that time that, you know, she was playing regularly and she wanted. But, you know, at this moment, I really want to give out a shout out to Misbah Volleyball Academy, especially Misbah, because she's doing a tremendous job. Not only promoting the sport of volleyball throughout the women fraternity, but also, like I said, creating leaders, women leaders for change as well for tomorrow. I think it's a remarkable job. So congratulations to you, Misbah, and the Volleyball Academy, which is the Misbah Volleyball Academy. For all you young girls out there who want to take up volleyball as a professional sport, who want to learn sports management, I think it's certainly the place to be as well. So Rizwan, we talk about this a lot, you know, on Eid, like we said, that traditions have evolved, things have changed. People have been so busy in their routine as well. You know, when we talk about career-wise as well, there are work-related pressures and stress that come into our jobs as well. How important is it for the next generation to understand that no matter how fast-paced life is, you always need to take out time for family and, you know, have that balance in life?
Ahmed, not just for family. In this fast-paced time, you need to relax and take time out for yourself as well. And of course, outdoor activities are very important for kids, especially. You know, they're all on these laptops and mobiles and PlayStations. They need to go out and play, because it is very, very unhealthy. This tradition, in 30 years' time, I think we're going to see the results of this if it continues. That not going out, not meeting up people. We're now the next generation is becoming introverts instead of being extroverts. They're becoming introverts because their interaction is just limited to social interaction is only limited to school and family when they come home, and even when they're home for dinner, everyone has his phone with him and stuff like that. So I think it's very important that you have time for yourself, you have time for your family. And especially at dinners and, you know, other dinners, when you're together, there should be a restriction on the mobile phones and you know, gadgets. That's very important for me.
Well, I think it's very interesting that...
But this is not the sort of debate I was hoping to have on an Eid show.
On an Eid show, but it was important to understand, because, you know, I'll be very honest. I am witnessing a culture. Why I said this, Rizwan, I'll come to that as well. Why I wanted to discuss this on an Eid show, because since the past couple of years, I've seen a culture of, you know, kids being confined to their rooms, very fine with sleeping, not beating family. So I think that really troubles me as a person who's enjoyed a, you know, an extended family culture and everything in between.
I think if you remember when we were young, as children, Asr to Maghrib, about 5 to 7,
We were
we
outside,
would
yes.
go out, and then after 7, your parents would be, you know, shouting out, "Where are you? It's getting late, it's getting late." These days, because of the security concerns as well, we ensure that, you know, when the kids go out, either one of the parents or somebody else
Accompanies them,
who accompanies them, because it's just not safe.
I'll put it like this, you know, our parents were dragging us inside and shouting, and now parents are shouting and dragging them outside.
Oh, can I give you an example of how
Yes,
much
please.
I was into, you know, going out after Maghrib and all that? Parents were very strict. You know, you have to be home. So when Ramadan came, I was, I think, 14 or 13 or 14. We decided, all us friends, that, you know, after 7, 5 to 7, we're allowed to go, and then we go for iftari, and we're not allowed to go back in. So we said, why don't we say to our parents that we're going to go for Tarawih? So all of us went for Tarawih. We did about 4 Tarawihs and then went for a walk for about 1 hour or so. And then when Tarawih ended, we all came back and we did this for a whole month. You know, that is how much outdoor activity meant. The icing on the cake was on the last day when my father told me that, you know, I'm very impressed, Rizwan. You've been going to Tarawih every day. Next year, I'm also going to go with you. So next year, he went with me and, you know, outdoor activity, you know, down the bloody drain.
You know, their chop goes the plan as well. So that's an interesting part of it as well. But Huma, how would you relate to this? Because, you know, we're from the generation, trust me, that even on Eid days, we were playing outside and our parents used to yell at us that we're going to destroy our clothes. It's Eid day.
Clothes,
at
shoes.
least leave sports for one day. And we said, no, this is the day we're going to play as well.
Yeah, as Sir said, when I was young, it was quite similar, but now things have changed, like the digital media, the electronics, and all of that. Like people are making videos, reels for on Eid, and you know, dressing up. So it is a different thing.
Well, but that is also something that we need to talk about as well, Huma, that the gadgets, when it comes to e-gaming, it's been popularized so much that people are more happy playing those games than getting involved in true form of sports outside as well. Do you also agree?
Yeah,
or
I
are
agree.
you also e-gaming as well at the same time?
I try to manage my time. Like family time is very important for even for a younger generation. I must state that you should spend your time with your family because this time is limited and we are going to be older and our parents are going to be older. So we have to spend our times with them, a good quality time, I must say.
Yes,
Yeah, but it's
Rizwan.
easier said than done.
Yeah.
You know, one has to make an effort. So
Yeah.
You know, it's all up to you to manage your priorities. And let me be very honest, you can always take out time. You know, you'll have those scheduling, you can talk about your educational routines, work routine, whatever, but you can always make up for time. Trust me, there are always limitations to what one is doing, and you need to have that balance in life as well. Do you agree, Sania, that you know, the gadgets have confined people in their homes as well?
Yeah, that's so true. Like
Even on Eid especially.
yeah, but I have just experienced a different scenario in my family because we belong to Gilgit-Baltistan, and I feel like our people are more active physically. Like whenever we have a family gatherings, our brother and sister are just yelling here and there, playing together. Just they live the phone on Eid days. I've never seen them on laptops or phone. They are just making everything miserable. Like we say, don't do that, don't do this. Like they destroy
you
everything
can't
on
contain
Eid
that
days.
energy
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
I think the Gilgit model should be followed then. I think you need to implement it across, because, you know, I'll be very honest, I remember, and hats off to you know, one of our family members in our extended family as well. His name is Shahid Gulrez, and you know, he has had this tradition since I remember, even before I was born, of hosting our entire extended family at his home on Eid. And he's done that regularly, like I said, for the past as long as I can remember, even from my you know, father's young time as well. He belongs to my father's side as well. But once again, congratulations to you. It was once again a special day today where we went there. The entire extended family was there. Of course, it's becoming limited because a lot of people are not in the country. A lot of our elders have passed away, unfortunately, by the will of Allah. But then again, like I said, that at least this one gentleman is still making an effort to inspire generations to get together on Eid as well. So I just need to give a lot of credit to Mr. Shahid Gulrez as well. Now, all of us have very special memories, all three of you. This is a very interesting part of the show because at the same time, you know, some of those memories are something that, you know, we think this was the best Eid. And some of those memories are, we say, no, I don't want to remember that. That was the most embarrassing moment I had on Eid. But, you know, since we have that liberty of asking our guests, so we're going to make sure that they talk about both those memories on Eid. So side by side, the best memory that they've had, and also the worst nightmare on Eid that they remember, something that they don't want to remember. But let's start with you, Sania. Obviously, what is the best, fondest memory of Eid that you have?
For me, getting ready on Eid is the best thing because throughout the year we are in a sports kit. So on Eid days, we put on makeup, we put on mehendi, henna and everything. So that's the best part of Eid for me.
So finally escaping from that traditional sports attire. That's actually special. Rizwan, what about you? What's your best memory of Eid that you remember, apart from ice cream in Lahore?
I was going to say ice cream
Yeah,
again,
that's what I
because I'm a big ice cream fan. I think getting together with the family, I think my best Eid would be 2011 because both my parents were alive, and that was the last Eid that they were together. So that would probably, it's a sad sort of a thing, but it was probably my best ever Eid. Even though we didn't go out anywhere because they were not well, but still, having them together was the best.
Was
And probably the worst as well. It was the same Eid because after that they both died within 1.5 years of each other. So other than that, I mean, I think as a kid, getting Eid was the best part.
yeah, true.
Without, I mean, both the girls said it, and I have to admit, and now I think the worst part is giving Eid.
Well, I'm sure
because-
I cannot
because
ask him how much he's made over the years through Eid, but I'm
not
sure.
much, not much, because at that time I think Eid, it was the event of getting Eid was the main thing, because you would get 10 rupees from somebody or 20
But
or
our
50.
denominations were limited, Rizwan. I think
Yes.
the largest denomination we would worry about was 100 or 500.
So exactly, so I mean 500 Eid was a lot of money.
Oh,
at
you
that
were
time.
rich at that time.
Yeah,
that
because
means.
ice cream later used to cost about 18 rupees a litre, yummy and polka. So I measure in
ice cream
In
terminology.
ice cream terminology. But other than that, I think it's just getting all the family together. It's a wonderful feeling, and we should cherish that.
I
Because
think
lots of people have
absolutely,
gone.
Absolutely. I wanted to talk about this as well, that, it's very important to cherish these memories. Make peace with your loved ones. Trust me, like Rizwan said as well, all of us have lost people who have been very dear to us. And I think Eid without them has not been the same. But then again, like I said, it's the way the world is, the will of Allah Almighty. But what we can do is always say our prayers, and I really respect the fact that majority of the people, I think probably 99.9% in Pakistan, the first thing they do after Eid prayers is go to the cemetery and of course just say a little prayer, spend time with their loved ones who are not here anymore. So I really respect that tradition. I think that's what makes us what we are today as well. But Huma, what's your best memory of Eid? Like she mentioned, Sania said getting ready is something that we like. What's your best memory that you remember of Eid?
So when I was young, I used to, I and my friends used to go to our neighbors and, force them to give us Eid. Like, we are here for Eid, just give us Eid. So that was the best part, and the worst part was, the worst nightmare was when one day I realized that I'm grown up now, and now I can't have Eid, rather than I have to give Eid.
But is
to
it
them.
the other way around? Do people now force you to give Eid as well?
Yeah, now it was my turn to give Eid. So it was the worst feeling.
That's almost like
I
extortion.
think the best part of Eid day is that you can sleep in after prayers. You don't have to stay long and for Sehri, just do your Fajr prayers and go back to sleep. And I think that's the
But
best.
it's very
way that
difficult to
you
make your mind and your stomach adjust
exactly.
to that.
And the most important, interesting thing is that you do the fasting for 29 or 30 days, and it doesn't really matter. You don't feel hungry, you
Not
don't
at all.
feel any cravings, and suddenly the day on Eid, at after prayers you need something to eat, and at 12 o'clock you need something to munch, and then lunch, and then dinner. And suddenly, all the weight loss or anything that has come goes
into
down the
reverse.
drain.
Goes into reverse as well, and it's very interesting that Rizwan has mentioned this fact that psychologically you want to eat everything at every time. So I think that really is something that needs to be pondered upon as well.
And we should control that.
Yes, absolutely. You don't need to rush in. Just give yourself time. You need to restart your system slowly. So I think you've detoxified yourself throughout the holy month of Ramadan. It's one of the biggest blessings that you detoxify not only your body and your mind as well. But so you need to just start slow once you return to that normal routine as well. But Sania, any memory which you think has been a nightmare? Anything you remember apart from giving out Eid now is something that you talk about?
Yeah, for me, as I'm the youngest in the family, during Eid days, our family gathers and there's a lot of dishes to wash. So that was my nightmare, and still it is. we on Eid days we wash the dishes and do the house chores. So that is the worst part for me, because I get ready and just to click my photo and all that thing. But doing the dishes and house chores, that mess up everything.
That's what. But if we ever had a competition based on this, then Sania would have won, because that is the most interesting thing that we've heard over the years doing an Eid show. It's about the fact that dishwashing is also nightmare that needs to be talked about. Rizwan, another thing that Pakistanis especially tend to enjoy is to go out on Eid, as you mentioned as well. And in Islamabad, because there are very limited places, the traditional folk of Islamabad like it when it's quiet and there's not hustle and bustle, which has changed over the years now. How do you feel about that? Do the kids have a particular place they want to go to, or is there any tradition of going somewhere?
We don't. We basically go visit family members and then get together for an evening dinner, like we're going to do tonight. But other than that, I think it's a very good tradition, and it just shows that the people have very limited opportunities to go out and enjoy themselves. And that's because of the standard of living differences that we have compared to England, where even the gardener will be driving a car, the plumber will be driving a car, he can afford going to the cinema. People can't do that. So for them, the poor people, I'm sorry to use that terminology, for them it's a big occasion when the day is off, so they pack their lunches and go out, have
A picnic sort of a
have
thing.
a picnic sort of thing. It's very important for them as well.
But at the same time, Huma, for all of us, it's very important to take care of those people who are from the underprivileged sections of society. That responsibility should not only be practiced during Ramadan or Eid, but throughout the year we need to, all of us, know people in our social circle who need to be taken care of.
Yeah, you're right. We should, contribute, and we should take care of the lower classes as well, because it's our duty to take care of them and to, make sure they are having enough food and they are having food and going to sleep. That's our responsibility.
Well, through sports, because you're visiting different areas as well. And a lot of people, because sports has now become a very, very expensive subject as well at the same time. But because we were talking about the football, academy a while back, when I remember we did a show on football. So we got to know that they've got this model where obviously once you pick up one footballer from a region, you transform the entire community. So with volleyball, it's probably the same. If you're supporting one girl in infrastructure development in volleyball, you're transforming the whole society. So how's that change of mindset been for you as a volleyball player?
That's a great question. So for me, going to a conservative area and working there was a quite different experience, and I learned a lot from them. It is exchange of experiences and exchange of knowledge. I learned about their lifestyles and how we are different from each other and how we can improve their lives through, bringing sponsorships and through, involving them in sports and giving them scholarships in sports. And majority of the people didn't even know that girls have a scholarship in sports if they apply in different universities. So we make sure to communicate, we make sure to, make them aware of such things. Yeah.
Well, certainly, that's wonderful.
I just want to
Yes.
appreciate that, we call Gilgit and Baltistan backward areas, but the level of education there is a lot better than
The highest
interior
literacy
Punjab.
rate in Pakistan.
And that's one of the reasons that the girls are going into sports. The parents are more open-minded
Encouraging,
about
yes.
these things, so that's a lovely thing.
Now, interestingly, we say the crown jewel of Pakistan, but I think the people are the real jewel of Gilgit-Baltistan and Pakistan, and I agree with this fact as well. Sani, you'd like to add something about Gilgit and its people, because like Rizwan mentioned, literacy rate, especially we see a lot of empowered girls now coming from Gilgit making a difference.
Yeah, like basically Gilgit-Baltistan is, we say we are really privileged, like our people are accepting, they appreciate us when whatever we pursue, whatever we feel we want to pursue, they really appreciate us. Our people are actually appreciating, and you have talked about the literacy rate that it's so high. So we believe that education transforms lives. So yes, that's why our people are so much into education and every field, I would say in every field.
The first pilot was from Gilgit.
Absolutely.
Female pilot.
I think it's all about the encouragement that comes from society, and I think the very first step is your parents. Once they start to encourage you and inspire you, then you have that ability that you can step out into the world and make a difference as well. So obviously congratulations and a big shout out to the parents who are involved as well. I think it's very, very special when we talk about this fact that there's encouragement from your parents, and they're pushing you to go over those boundaries or taboos, social taboos that we have, and achieve something that not only benefits your own self but your communities in Pakistan at large as well. So I think it's a tremendous role that parents are playing as well, and I think listen to them, as I always say. Don't worry about if you don't like it, but then again listen to that. Now we come to the final part of the show, which is a very, very special quiz. And of course, we've got this very beautiful gift hamper that has been given to us by Serena Hotel. So you've got a prize to win. Obviously, this year we're not going to let anyone go without a prize. And all three of you, unfortunately, would be competing against all three of you. So I mean, the prize is one. The people are three. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask a couple of riddles. And of course, if the first person, we're going to start with Sania, of course, and move on. If she doesn't guess it, then Rizwan's got a chance, and if Rizwan doesn't guess it, then Huma's. If nobody guesses it, then of course I tell the answer and we change.
It should be random, I would say, because they will get a time to think of it.
Okay, so since we agree, and since we are listening to Sania this Eid, so if she said it, so we will do random. So we'll change the rules a bit because you said so. Right? So are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready to win this hamper? And of course, I'm going to discuss the contents of this hamper on another platform. You can definitely know it, but like I said, fantastic things for offer in this gift hamper as well. Right? So are you ready? Are you ready to win?
Yes.
For the people of Gilgit?
Yes.
Okay, so your first question is, what are two things you can never eat for breakfast?
That would be
I thought the first one's going to be easy, but I
never
guess
gonna eat aloo.
Aloo for
Yeah.
I'll
Me
accept
too.
this answer just for a courtesy, but wrong answer, I'm really sorry. So the two things you can never eat for breakfast are lunch and dinner. So, so like I said, trick questions, but this is interesting. Rizwan, what is always coming but never arrives?
Time.
You're almost there. If you can just, give yourself another push.
You need to give me that if I'm close enough.
Well, I'll give him the answer because time tomorrow is, pretty close by. So congratulations. I think a round of applause for Rizwan for getting that first answer right on. Okay, so Huma, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
What can be broken but never held?
Heart of a person.
Heart. Close enough. It's a promise and a heart both. So congratulations, Huma. She got that right as well. So you can of course applaud for Huma. You showed some sportsman spirit. So Huma and Rizwan are tied. So I need to give them one more question each, and whoever gets the right one wins this fantastic hamper. And then I tell you the contents of this as well. Right. So Rizwan, what word is spelled incorrectly in every single dictionary?
Incorrectly.
That's the correct answer. Absolutely incorrectly is the right answer. You better get this one or you lose the hamper. Okay, so what never asks a question but gets answered all the time? What never asks a question but gets answered all the time?
Answer.
No, it's not the answer. Rizwan, congratulations. You've won this round. So round of applause first of all for Mr. Rizwan Haider. So the answer is your mobile phone. so I'm sure a lot of people are going to hate me for putting up these riddles, but trust me, this is the most fun part of the show as well. So Rizwan, congratulations. You won this fantastic hamper that includes some fantastic contents as well. And if I may, I can highlight these contents as well. Since Rizwan has won by the score of 2-1, I can definitely highlight what Rizwan has won in this hamper as well. So the hamper, of course, powered by Serena Hotels, includes a very fantastic a piece of crockery for your daily coffee routine as well. So you can enjoy all your tea, and you probably take it to golf as well at the same time. And of course, at the same time, we're very, very excited to tell you that you have also won an exclusive voucher given to you by Serena Hotel. That includes something very interesting, and that is of course something that you can take along, take someone along as well. So Rizwan has also won a voucher of dinner for two at Baradari restaurant in Serena Hotel. So congratulations to you, Mr. Rizwan Haider, on winning this fantastic hamper, and I'm sure that before you go, we'll be handing it out to you in a presentation ceremony as we're used to. But finally, very quickly, I must ask all of my guests, starting from Sania, that is there any special message this Eid that you'd like to give out to the people of Pakistan, and I'm sure a lot of fans that you've got as well?
I would say enjoy this Eid with your family. Every Eid, every occasion, enjoy with your family, have memories. Besides this, for athletes out there, I would like to say never say there is no opportunity. Create opportunity for yourself and just go on and pursue whatever you want. You want to be an athlete, you want to be an artist, whatever you want to be, just go with the flow and win.
Go with the flow. That's a wonderful message. Rizwan, what would you like to
I think
say?
we need to be truthful to ourselves, be fair. The month of Ramadan is a month of blessings, but suddenly we see, people start charging profits and they say, Allah's barakat is a blessing. That should not be the way. We should be looking to the poor and, distributing and sharing our whatever we have with them. And just be truthful to ourselves and, think of the country first. I think it's long due now.
Certainly, Pakistan should always come first for all of us, and that's a very beautiful message by Rizwan as well. Miss Huma, would you like to give out any message since you are the runner-up of our final round as well?
Yeah, as Sania said, spend your time with your family. And another thing I would like to say is that you should know how to manage your time. And I believe that if you know how to manage your time, you can achieve anything in life.
Certainly you can achieve. Well, it's been fantastic. Huma, Rizwan and Sania, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure sharing Eid with you, and I'm sure the next 2 days to come, you're going to enjoy all of them as well. So thank you very much to all of you, and Eid Mubarak once again. Of course, before we go, we've got a very special message from our team as well. We'd like to wish a very happy Eid Mubarak, a very blessed Eid Mubarak to all of our PTV fraternity and all our technical crew as well. You never see them on screen. There are people from the production team, from the coordinators, from the camera people, the lightmen, people involved with our IT department, engineering. We can talk about transportation and every department that we can think of. They have been working round the clock through Ramadan to bring you special transmission, and now even working on Eid Day as well, because they are also part of our family. I always call them my work family. So a very blessed Eid Mubarak to all of my work family as well. Thank you very much for always being the true support system of Pakistan Television. On that note, I think all of us together are going to wish you Eid Mubarak on the count of 3. Thank you very much, and I hope that you've got 2 more splendid days to enjoy your Eid as well. So we leave you with 1, 2, 3. Eid Mubarak.